are rolling. Hi, Dave. Would you like to introduce yourself to the nice people?
Hey, John. Sure. My name is Dave Firth Bard. I live up in Boston, and I am an organizer for New England Old School.
Awesome. So I'm gonna let you know one of my questions that I usually try to ask people pretty late in these interviews is what, if anything, they would change about old school. But with you, I don't really have to ask that because you basically did change what you wanted to change about old school, and that's what the Atlantic rules are. So I wanted to ask you a little bit
hmm
about I guess maybe the development process of coming up with a new format and getting people on board with it.
Yeah, sure. So that's a great question, and I guess I would start by saying that the Atlantic rules for Old School are not just me. In fact, there are things in Atlantic that I don't like that if it were only up to me, I would change. But they're sort of a product of um, so I guess I could walk through a little bit like
Yeah,
of the process that I kind of went through with my friends to kind of land where we landed.
yeah.
Um, I think the first thing that you want to consider um, when you're trying to, really when you're creating anything that you want to have gain traction or people to see value in, is you have to find a niche. You have to find a need in the marketplace essentially.
Hmm.
And basically, like what we were seeing. I had played tons of webcam games. The Swedish like B&R over a few years. Played a lot of EC rules.
Yeah, I would
And
basically call you the hardest working person in old school,
I
given the
mean,
number of
if that's what hard
games you
work
put
looked
in.
like playing a bunch of Magic, for fun with your friends, I guess I'll take it. Um, but like I'd played a lot in both of those environments, right? We here in New England, when things got going, like in early 2016, we started the guys who had sort of already been organizing things had like we kind of settled on like a quasi Swedish, I guess, like with Fallen Empires, but like him was restricted. It was kind of a funky kind of proto BNR list, but we switched that over to Eternal Central in the spring of 2017. So we played with EC rules here locally for a couple of years solid, and I organized a ton of EC rules events. Went to Eternal Weekend in 2017. Went to the Players Ball in 2018. So had a lot of experience in that format, and then also was playing a bunch on webcam with European players, mostly in the Swedish BNR. Um, and so Atlantic really came out of a kind of a need that we identified to kind of bridge the gap between those two kind of tent poles of 93, 94.
Hmm.
By the time this was like mid to late 2018, we just started seeing this like practical, and by we I mean like like other people that I played a lot of webcam games with. And here in Boston, like locally, we just kind of felt the pendulum swinging to toward restricting strip mine, just kind of naturally out of wanting to switch it up after a couple of years.
Okay.
Um, and so I just kind of caucused with a bunch of a couple other organizers, like players on the East Coast here, some organizers in Europe, um, around like what are the things that we like about both formats, like uh, what are the aspects of these formats that we would keep, and how can we kind of harmonize these into a format that could be used as more of like an international like midway point,
Hmm.
basically, uh, mostly like as a practical basis for playing webcam games, between playgroups.
Yeah.
So that was like the niche, or like the gap in the marketplace that we kind of saw that we wanted to address in creating the Atlantic rules. And so in this kind of smoke filled room. There was like a lot of horse trading, but the we basically like the guiding like premise is that Atlantic actually it's anchored by EC and Swedish as these reference points. So there are by that I mean it, Atlantic won't do by its nature. Atlantic won't do anything that EC or Swedish don't already do. Um, so like
Well,
Atlantic, for
is
example,
I mean, is that
like
strictly true though? Because
it is.
I know that control decks tend to be a little better in Atlantic rules.
Oh no, I
And
mean like literally the restrictions in the
oh,
rules.
okay, I
Like
see, I see.
it's coloring in the lines established by EC and Swedish. So by that I mean like we wouldn't restrict factory in Atlantic because factory is unrestricted in both EC and
I
Swedish.
see, I see.
So it's like it's finding a literal common ground because it's taking basically you have the columns of things that EC parts of EC rules and parts of Swedish rules, and it's cherry picking pieces from both of those columns
Yeah,
instead of like making up new things like in a third
I
column.
see. Okay.
So yeah, no, but to your point, so that's one guiding principle is using those two existing like tentpole variants as references. The other thing that it does is that it has a value premise basically. The value premise of Atlantic rules is diversity of archetypes, and basically the idea is that we're trying to elevate as many different archetypes and like strategies to like toward tier one like as much as as high as they can go basically. We want control strategies to be better, we want aggro strategies to be better, we want combo strategies to be better, like just across the board. Like workshops is a thing that exists in 93 94. Let's give it the tools that it needs to succeed. Like twiddle vault is a thing, let's give it the tools that it needs to succeed, see what people can do with it, and the same across the board.
Nice. Okay. So you've mentioned that this is you consult with a lot of people that you've played webcam games with,
Yep.
and you said you're not the only person behind the format. So,
Mhm.
could you is is the process of evolving the format, if it were to require any evolving, is that more of a democratic process? Like, do a lot of people in Northeast Old School get to participate in that, or is it more like a handful of representatives take input from those players and
Yeah,
decide?
that's a good question. I mean, for Atlantic, like I hope that it doesn't change, and by that I mean like there 93 94 is a static card pool, right?
Right.
And so I think it's outside of like modern rules changes, like the London Mulligan came up, last year, and we, across the board, it kind of got rubber stamped because we play by modern rules to the extent possible in old school. I think, we would have to. There could be some kind of rule change, coming down from WotC at some point that we might have to have like a referendum on that policy, right? And I guess if that were to happen, um, it, I guess there are a couple different ways of doing this. Like for Atlantic, I would imagine that it would be more informal than formal in terms of like a democratic or like consensus building process. You have other formats of like, I guess, like administration, I guess I would say, like elsewhere in the old school world. So like on the West Coast, they have the Pacific Conference, and that is like they've attempted to like codify like actual bylaws. They have like voting rights for clubs that clubs each like send representatives
Right.
to
Right.
like meetings that happen like with a set frequency and all that kind of so that's like a very like kind of transparent process. In the Swedish BNR, you have Magnus basically calling the shots and getting the final say, and like he has like a kitchen cabinet of people that he kind of bounces ideas off of, and then
So you guys are
there
again like a middle point, almost directly
yeah,
in
yeah.
between
I
the.
think I want to think so. I think I'm more. I think I'm closer to Magnus's approach um, than the Pacific approach. But I'm trying to think of like changes have been made to EC in the last couple of years, like Jaco, for example, unrestricted Mazavith, and issued errata for like Ring of Maroof and Falling Star. So like that kind of thing is possible. I don't know exactly what Jaco, what Jaco's like strategy is there, but I know that he has his own kind of roster of people that he talks to and gets ideas from, right? I mean, ultimately these things, like, they gain as much traction as there is support for them.
Mm-hmm.
And by that I mean like people organizing events for format X, like whatever that is, and people willing to say, yeah, I'll sign up for that. I'll play that. And so even outside of like vanilla 93, 94 variants, like Swedish or EC or Atlantic or Pacific, now we have this whole cottage industry of like splinter formats that pop up all the time, and people, they gain traction to the extent that people are excited about playing them. So like right now I'm in the Beasts 1.5 league. There have been like singleton variants that have popped up over the years. You have stuff like Alpha 40 or Revised 40. And I don't know, my attitude toward all that is that it's all good. Like we want to support as many of these things as we can. The card pool is never going to change, but the ways that we can engage with it it's kind of infinite, right? So
Yeah.
So really, like, I guess what I would say is, like, some people say that there's like a risk of like drifting. There's too much like kind of fracturing, and it becomes kind of hard to understand like what the bedrock of the old school community is. And
Yeah.
so I think even despite all these little like splinter formats popping up, I've kind of, in my own event organizing, like really committed myself to providing like a steady drumbeat of so-called vanilla or regular 93, 94, whether that's EC or Swedish or Atlantic or whatever. So just kind of envisioning the old school community as sort of like a club of people who really enjoy this card pool, and like vanilla 93, 94 is sort of like the base camp that we need to have. Like we need this place to kind of serve as like an anchor for all of us to hang out, and to like be like the platform for engaging the community on like a long-term basis. But from that base camp, like we can all kind of break off and like have little expedition parties into like whatever sub format kind of projects people want to get into, and whatever the flavor of the week is. And I think it's great to have a community that we can kind of use as that like that substrate, or like that just a platform to kind of launch these things from, for experimentation.
Okay. I want to acknowledge a couple things before we actually shuffle up our cards. First of all, you did a lot of charity tournaments over the last few months, and they've all been online. They've all had a moderate entry fee, but you've raised a lot of money for charity over the last couple of months, and I just want to make sure that I'm sure most of the people in the community that are going to watch this already know that, but I just want to thank you for doing that. And while we're shuffling up cards, I'll ask you my next question. And that is going to be, how did you learn Magic? How did you get into playing Magic? So I'm going to switch my camera, and you can answer that one at your leisure.
No, I mean, I will say that it's an absolute pleasure to continue to organize events. I feel like we were kind of blessed with already having an existing webcam scene before, the shit hit the fan earlier this year. And I don't know, I've just been pleased to be in a position to, have had the experience with webcam event organizing, and be able to keep up a steady stream of things for people to look forward to, frankly. And I do it for myself also. I want tournaments to look forward to, and and I want, there to be an outlet for the old school community to continue to engage and give back, even, during the pandemic and, during this really tough time, right? So I'm happy to be able to do it. So I'm gonna grab this deck wherever it is.
To honor your commitment to playing a deck that you have not had any reps with, I rebuilt something that is a little bit similar to something I've done before, but I have not played this configuration of this idea. And it's pretty significantly different from my last iteration of it. So hopefully we're on somewhat equal footing.
Yeah, I mean, so this is totally experimental. Have not taken a single rep. Have not played a single game. Have no idea if it's going to be amazing or terrible. But this is a deck that I don't know, a few weeks ago. It's just an amazing thing about this format is that and this is Atlantic legal, by the way. I realize it's technically not Swedish legal.
Yeah.
Because there are some Fallen Empires guys in it, but I can switch them out.
Oh no, I always play Fallen Empires. You know me.
Indeed. So yeah, but what I was saying is like, even like years, whatever, 4.5 years into brewing, well, closer to 5 years, actually now at this point for me, into brewing for this format. The card pool hasn't changed. The rules really haven't changed that much. Like the most we've done to like quote unquote change old school has been merge the two existing standards, and just kind of cycle through, Atlantic, Swedish, EC, Pacific, whatever. Despite having no changes and the cards being the same, it's still an environment that I am getting out of bed at 2 a.m. Because I don't want to lose a thought, and opening my laptop and firing up Mana Stack and putting these insane combinations of cards into, and then hoping this, and it's still kind of motivating that kind of giddiness, and it is just amazing to me that even now, like, I'm still not done with it. I'm still not sick of it. It's good to have like stuff like Alice, the Ice Age Alliances format, or I played Alpha 40 for quite a while. Like they're all, or singleton variants, all that stuff. Like there are all these different ways of changing it up and palette cleansing, so to speak. So it's not just all like all EC all the time or all Swedish all the time or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, I'm still brewing for plain old 93-94. And I don't know. It just kind of shows the level of depth and just interesting things, and I don't know, things that really do still get my heart beating a little bit faster. It's what an amazing game and what an amazing gift to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Close to whatever 25, 30 years later. So yeah, but your question about how I started, back in the day, I was 12 years old. It was spring of 95, like March or so, late winter, I guess. And I was it was a Boy Scout trip for a lot of people that I know. It was a Boy Scout trip for me. I was on a Boy Scout trip actually to Boston. I grew up in upstate New York. And we were in Boston. We were in the Charlestown Navy Yard, and I don't even know what else we did on that trip, but we were just hanging out in like the barracks or whatever, the housing. And there was a group of older kids just kind of sitting around in a circle on the floor, playing this game. The first card I remember seeing was a revised Frozen Shade. And of course, nobody knew the rules, so they're pumping up Frozen Shade, but on the card it doesn't say until.
Yeah, of course. I think we have actually even mentioned that already on one of the episodes here, where
sure. I mean, so you had Frozen Shade with like a mountain of those glass like bead counters on it.
Yeah.
So guys were swinging in with like their 17, 18 frozen shades.
Yeah, I mean,
But
like
to break the
that's what the card
stalemate in
says.
this like yeah, exactly. And it's to break the stalemate in this like 5 or 6 player like free for all,
Yeah.
which with those cards must have taken forever. Um, but yeah, I mean, just I don't know, visiting the shores of imagination. Just the things that those very simple like old art like would evoke, and those emotions that it would stir. Like I don't know, I was hooked immediately. Obviously, um, already fetching about changes when fourth edition came out later that spring, and I hated the new tap symbol, and I hated the new white mana symbol, and I hated the copyright line.
Yeah.
Like already kind of feeling like reactionary draw to
You,
revised and things earlier.
you've always been a stodgy old
um,
man, huh?
yeah, at the age of 12, I was like shaking my old man fist at the changes.
Do you want to pick
Um,
which one's on
you
top?
know,
One was
oh yeah,
three
sure.
was originally on top, two was in the middle.
That's a good standard. I mean, how about 132?
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we should get a little bit more more robust about this in webcam games. My
Yeah.
attitude is like it's good etiquette. My attitude is like if you're gonna cheat, I guess you need it more than I do. Like it's good to kind of I don't know establish some ground rules for how this works. But the reality is that cheating is just so easy over webcam that like if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. And I don't know, like it's honor system or nothing for me. But I do appreciate the people want to feel like safe playing these games and feel like there is a basic level of etiquette and code of conduct. So I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
I always try and shuffle and cut like right on cam, obviously, like a normal human being.
yeah, and that's part of why I did this is because I need to get in the habit of doing it because it doesn't even
Yeah,
occur to me most of the time to
yeah. No,
even think about.
why would anyone? Yeah, exactly. Um,
High roll or even or odd,
even
actually. Even? Okay.
yeah.
It's a two.
All right. Yeah, I mean, so then as a kid I played not seriously. To this day I've actually never played a match of sanctioned constructed anything in my life. um, I played limited, like I have whatever planeswalker points or whatever from drafting and playing pre-releases, but I've never played standard or modern or vintage or legacy or anything.
Yeah. I'm gonna
um,
take a mulligan, just to let you know.
sure. And but yeah, I mean, I played as a kid, put it down, got into comic books and video games and stuff. Picked it up a little bit in college, but again, not really serious. This was around the change from the old to the modern card frame. So like the jump from Onslaught block to Eighth Edition and Mirrodin, which of course another kind of like old man shaking my fist, like I want to play with the old cards. So even then, in like 2002, 2003, call it, like I was playing with revised. And then I put it down again for a really long time and got back in 2014 in earnest and started drafting with M15 and cons and conspiracy, actually the set that brought me back to the game, because a friend of mine knew Sean Main, who was one of the like the designers for conspiracy, who worked at Wizards for a bit. And then yeah, after not too long, just wanted to play with the old cards again. Started collecting for to build a revised cube, to play limited with revised, and then I found old school in 2015, and that was it.
Hmm. One
So,
or 1 and 3 again.
oh, sorry.
That's fine.
3-1-2.
3, 1, 2. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I will keep this, and I'll put this
I'll
guy
keep
on the
my
bottom.
first 7. You mulled the 6 and remind me. I have terrible memory. Who won the die roll?
You won the die roll.
Awesome. Good news. All right. Yeah, I'm awful about that. I like the die is rolled, something happens, and I immediately forget. All right, this is You're gonna roll your eyes, but I
Did
think
you
I'm
get
good to
all the
go.
power? Or did you get a
No,
time twister and I'm
just a couple. No, just a couple pieces. I'm gonna let's see. All right, I'm gonna start with City of Brass. I'm gonna go to 19. I'm gonna ancestral myself like a normal person.
mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3. That's fine. I have 8 cards in hand. Therefore, I must play a card. It will be a 0 cost. Kobold of keep.
It's a
And
kobold.
I will pass the turn.
All right. Let's play this here island and pass the turn.
Yep. Right, untap, draw. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. Gonna play City of Brass. Gonna play
Goodness.
Crookshank and Crimson.
All right.
I have like what do you call that?
Yeah, the trifecta.
Exactly. Got
The
the
whole keep
flush
is
there.
full.
Mhm.
Someday I very much
Okay.
want to get on camera a guy named Merle who built a story deck around the kobolds one time.
Oh yeah, I know. I think did I meet Merle at Dice City at one point?
Yeah,
I know the name.
because I know you came down at one point and I couldn't make it. I've got his booklet
Yeah,
around here
it was a
somewhere.
really Thursday night. You know, it was the Thursday night right before the first LobsterCon because I was down there for work. And then I took the train up from DC to Boston the next day and the Friday. So like I was at Dice City the Thursday night, met a bunch of guys, including Ryan, and obviously played with Jimmy. Yeah, I met Adam and Ryan. I jammed some games with Jimmy. The next morning, I got on the Acela at Carrollton. Is that a place? New Carrollton? I don't know. Somewhere outside of DC. And then in Philadelphia, Will McGran got on the train, and then in New York, Matt Moss from Chicago and Andrew Walker from the Long Island scene there got on the train, and we had a marvelous time.
Was that your turn or?
No.
Oh, you tapped the City of Brass. Okay.
Tapped the City of Brass, went to 18, Soren.
Oh, okay.
And then
Doing my work for me.
yeah, for sure. Okay. Then I'll cast Wheel.
Ouch.
All
right, you get Sarah Angel, Sinbad, Plains, Felwar Stone, Disenchant, and a Lightning Bolt.
Excellent. All right, discarding Taskmaster, Savannah Lions. We'll be sad to see them go, but I think we'll be okay. 3, 4,
I'll keep
7. Yeah, right, exactly. Okay. Kobold, Ornithopter, Mox, go.
All right. I really wanted that Felwar Stone.
Sorry, buddy.
I will go to 19 and play a Sylvan Library.
Sylvan's in.
Your turn.
I'll bolt you on your turn.
I'm at 16.
All right, I'll untap. I will go to draw. Okay. I will I'll chain lightning you.
13.
And I will attack for 0.
Are we getting an army of Allah? Is that puts me to 1?
2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
Oh, puts me to 3. All right.
Yep. And then I'm on 15. Actually, I'm on 14 because I burned from the soaring as well as the other cities. And I'll pass the turn.
Wow. Oh, shoot. I can library at least.
Yeah, you should library.
I definitely should library. Ivory Tower.
Yep, Towers in.
Pass.
I'll untap and bolt you in my upkeep.
Okay.
All right, so that's about as well as that can possibly go for me.
that was awesome. That was definitely awesome.
I should probably just stop playing this deck immediately. Because I think it's like the consummate like Wheel of Fortune deck basically, and I can't do much better than the second turn wheel. But now you've seen the whole thing. There's nothing more to it.
Well, that was a fast game, so we might be able to get it. I'm gonna play another one main deck, and
yeah.
Then I'll
consider.
Yeah,
we'll play as much as you want. I got this. I got a bunch of other stuff. I got 1.5. I got a million other. Like I keep like a singleton deck together. I keep other like monocolor aggro Atlantic decks together.
Yeah, I do want to keep each video to one pair of decks. Gives me an excuse to have people back.
Sounds good.
While we're shuffling, and I've got this whole list of cards, but you're a good storyteller, so I mean this whole list of questions, but you're a good storyteller, so I don't need to use all of them. So I know you said you played off and on when you were young.
Yep.
But were there specific people that you played with often, like a very close knit group of friends, or were you kind of a game store hangout?
I was definitely not much of a game store rat, like other than obviously visiting to buy singles and whatever. But like I said, I never played. I didn't have a DCI card. Like I didn't play like any kind of formal Magic whatsoever until I guess I signed up. I got a DCI card in 2014 to play sanctioned M15 drafts, basically. Mm-hmm. So I guess so. Back in my hometown, Albany, New York, I played. I played with kids in the neighborhood. My friend Eli, and my friend Tom, my friend Mark. Kids from school. I was in that year. I was in 6th grade, like the year that I started playing. And so play with the Boy Scouts, play with just kids from school. And then we didn't really have there wasn't like a play group necessarily. Like it was like I would play with specific people at their houses, or they would come to mine. Like it wasn't like a regular thing.
I see.
Freshman year of college, I distinctly remember being on my freshman dorm floor with a couple friends that I had made, and we played a lot of StarCraft Grid War in those days. And, we were all hanging out one night, and I don't know how it came up, but Magic was almost like taboo. Like it was like a dark thing in our pasts that we didn't want to talk about. So
yeah,
we were all euphemistically referring to it. And we called it actually. And I was like, oh yeah, I've got a bucket of it back at home. I'll bring it, back after the next break. And so I had all my Magic cards in my it bucket, which was actually a literal bucket. It was a popcorn bucket from the Phantom Menace, episode 1, which I think was 97 or something like that.
Yeah.
I kept it Phantom Menace Star Wars popcorn bucket, and I brought my shoebox of Magic cards, basically threw them in this bucket, and brought them from Albany to Buffalo, where I went to college. And I had my 8 bucket that I kept in my closet, basically. And I don't even know if we played games that freshman year or what, but we definitely played a lot. We played more my sophomore and junior years of college. And it was all with my dorm buddies, basically.
Yeah.
Um,
1 or
and
3?
that was my play group. We had no meta. Let's see, 2, 3, 1. There was no meta or anything like
Oops.
that. It was just like me wanting to cast
2, 3.
Sarah Angels and Lightning Bolts, and like I guess Urza's Block had come and gone, and there were other kids, with better decks and other things. Like I know some asshole in the dorm had like a time warp, like infinite turns deck, and we just didn't play with him anymore. So I don't know. It's just it's like the Wild West. You're like, oh, like our one friend has a Black Lotus, like that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just kind of like a legendary weird thing. Like why would you have that card? Like that
Yeah,
card costs like
I
a
was
couple
that
hundred,
jerk. I was that jerk
couple
when
hundred
I
bucks. Like why
was
would you have that?
I was that jerk when I was in a dorm. I was the guy.
That's nice.
Well, I
That's
mean,
cool.
it was actually barracks, so I had disposable income. But
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
um, I will keep this hand, and and I want to ask: are you still in touch with any of the people that you played from, 15 or 20 years ago? 20 years ago now, I guess.
Yeah, I mean less so now. A bunch of those college guys, like I played World of Warcraft with after college, like into grad school. And some of them still play. I gave up WoW a while back, probably 10 years ago now. But like we have like a Discord that we kind of send messages back and forth every now and again. As for some of my hometown friends, I'll see very intermittently now. Like my
Mm-hmm.
parents sold my childhood home and are out of there. I don't go back there too often anymore,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But I haven't like jammed games with like my hometown friends in a very long time, I think. I'm looking at this hand. All right, this is a little more conventional, and I will keep.
All right. I'll go to 19 and play a land tax.
Sure.
Your turn.
Tax is in. Tax against zero cost guys might not be the
Yeah, well,
strongest,
you
but-
got to cast the 3 casting cost spell at some point.
that's right. That's right. All right, I will open up with a City of Brass myself, and I will cast 3 dudes that cost nothing. Go ahead.
All right.
Again with the variation.
I'll go to 18. Play this here, Felwar Stone.
Yeah.
Pass the turn.
Okay. Thorstone, and you have another land, crucially, a tropical.
Yeah.
Or no, an island, a regular island. Okay. Yep. Draw. All right. Tundra. I'm gonna slam a Taskmaster. Oh, I missed an opportunity. Whatever. That's fine. I was supposed to cast something last turn, but I didn't. It didn't matter. I'll attack for free.
15.
Pass the turn. Oh wait, no. Sorry. Crookshank Kobolds go.
What do I need? What do I need? Alright, I'll play a Sylvan. Pass.
Okay.
Am I just dead? This is amazing.
Yeah, right. Because in theory, I could just go like land, army, you're dead, right?
Yeah.
How have I never seen this before? I don't think I've come up with something completely new, but like I've never seen kobolds in army before, and it just seems so straightforward. I'll attack for 4.
I'm an 11.
Oh wait, no wait, I can attack for this guy attacks
Yeah.
too. That's great. 5. Yeah. See.
I'm a 10.
Play another one of these. I will pass the turn.
2, 3. Balance.
I'll bolt you.
Right. Do I get to keep any cards?
I have 1 card in hand and 2 land.
Alright, I will discard Sylvan Library, Felwar Stone, and Land's Edge.
All right. I've got you on 7.
Then I will pass the turn.
Okay. Draw.
I mean, that was turn 3.
Ornithopter, go.
1,
Yeah.
2, 3.
Turn 3, killing what? 5 guys?
Sinbad.
6. You killed 6 guys.
Go ahead.
Awesome. Sinbad. Sinbad.
Oh my
Sinbad.
God, you play
Yeah.
counters too?
No, no, no. No, that's weird.
That would
Draw.
actually be legitimate. I mean, your
You
guys
have
don't
two
cost anything to
land.
cast.
Ornithopter doesn't. Yeah, right. Play guys is hold of a counter. Ornithopter does nothing. Go ahead.
uh,
Man, balance is so good.
Alright, I will play this Soul Ring. I will draw this
Okay.
factory and play it. I will play this Concorn.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Concorn. Okay. Do you have any cards left?
No.
I feel like we're in the danger zone here. Well, let's. I'm gonna bolt you.
Yeah.
I'm impatient here.
Yeah.
You got a
I mean,
4. Okay. Draw. Go.
Alright. I will draw this plains during my upkeep. I will crack the Concorn during my upkeep. So these are the cards I've drawn this turn.
Yeah.
I will put this one back, and then I will library.
Marvelous.
Like this, and this. And I'll attack for 2.
16.
Pass the turn.
I gotta say, oh, you have 3 lands now?
Yeah.
All right. I'll play that. Go ahead.
All right. During my upkeep, I will draw this plains, and then I will library.
So good.
Play another Sinbad, and activate the library with floating mana and attack for 2.
I can block Sinbad all day with this, by the way, so I'm not afraid. Yeah.
And
all right. Anything else?
Nope. I'd like to draw something a little bigger than Sinbad, but
I gotta say, Taskmaster Ornithopter is sort of a nombo. Go ahead.
Grab another question while I'm drawing a zillion cards here.
Yeah.
So before the world went to crap.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, put these back actually. Hey, there we go.
Making this engine look so good.
Keep those 3. Put that back. 2, 3, 4, 5. Or yeah, whatever. 5. Angel.
Yeah.
Your turn. So before the world went to crap, what kind of environment did you guys meet in?
Oh, in Boston, we had a biweekly. In a basically it's a bar near Boston College in a part of Boston called Brighton. And it is it's a BC bar, basically a lot of students. But it's very homey. It's called Moogie's. It's very homey. There's like a back room that on every other Wednesday we would kind of go and take over. It's great because we looked a long time to find the right environment. What was great about it is that you would order food from like a counter, and there was no table service, right? So like I mean, they would bring you your food, but like there was no like assigned tables to wait staff or anything like that, or like you wouldn't have to like at a normal restaurant, you go in with a group of guys, you all order food, like they come, ask you for, every 15 minutes or whatever if you need stuff. Um, and then like a check comes at the end that you have to split. Here, everyone has their individual tab up at the counter. And so that's all really clean. And you don't have to like, there's no settling at the end of the night. There's no, feeling like they have to flip the tables to be profitable, basically,
Yeah.
especially in a town especially on in the Northeast where, square footage is at a premium and, there's pressure to like just like leave if you're not being economically productive.
Right. Right.
um, and so, yeah, I mean, they were wonderful to us, and, we became regulars. I mean, going back to, so we had been there really since I think like winter into spring of 2018. So it had been 2 years solid there before coronavirus. And then before that, or I guess concurrent with that, but also stretching back to the fall of 2016, a group of us would meet at a pizza pub basically in southern New Hampshire, which is about an hour's drive north of Boston. Um, and because there was, some of the early movers in the scene were from southern New Hampshire, and it was easy enough for Boston to go. And that place is great. Same deal. You would order at the counter, they'd bring you your food, and everyone would be on separate checks, and just very easy.
Yeah.
So that's I guess like my insight is like if you're trying to find a restaurant, find one with that setup where there's not like there's not like table service,
Right.
where
Right.
they expect you to kind of move along. Um, God, did I draw? I'm just like, I don't think I did. I untapped.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't ask questions when I don't think you drew because you've
No,
got
it's
two
fine.
cards
I
in
mean,
hand. You've got two cards in hand?
I have, I
Yeah.
have two, yeah, and I
Yeah.
think
You have
I
not
think I
drawn.
had these.
You have
I
not
guess
drawn.
then, yeah. All right, cool. All right, well, that's fine. The draw didn't do much either way. I'll pass through.
All right. Um, let's do this again. They're probably going to be on top.
I'm just biding my time. Wait until I find another bolt.
Yeah.
You got to respect that, Taskmaster. The Taskmaster knows that there's no cure for the common kobold.
1, 2. Well, I'll attack with the angel.
I will go to 10.
Stone. Stone. Pass.
Draw. And that balance really took the wind out of my sails.
Yeah, I mean, I had this too. I should just.
Is that a Wrath?
Yeah.
Yeah. The old Wrath Sinbad deck. I've seen it a million times. Go.
I tried to, come up with something that even though it plays some good cards, it's not something you see every day. These things again.
Yeah.
Activate factory. Swing for 6.
You're attacking with the angel in the factory?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go to 4. Wow. Come on, 4.
Okay. You're never gonna let me tax, so it's safe to just play lands.
Oh yeah, no way in hell. Yeah.
How many cards do you have?
3.
Actually, hang on. Before I play this, you have 4 cards.
3 cards.
3 cards. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, what is the chance that they're all land? Only 2 of them have to be land. Yeah. Oh well. 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll just play another angel and pass.
Seems fine. I'm about a second away from scooping. Draw. Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, this deck only has 14 lands in it, but I saw an awful lot there after the.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out whether I could afford to play this. I had 3 lands in my hand.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, you couldn't. I would have killed you.
Well, I can respond to you killing me.
Yeah.
But I can't respond to responding to you killing me.
Yeah.
Okay. Since we've split the pre-board games, shall we play a sideboard game?
So I have no sideboard.
Oh, okay, that's fine then. I will not sideboard, especially because I have 6 cards in my sideboard that are good against you.
So I will say the sideboard ideas right now are Repentant Blacksmiths, because
they're awesome.
This deck has a problem with Earthquake.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're great. I think I could play Vices out of the board. I mean, there's Vices and Atogs like in the mix of this space, but I just don't want to do that. And for the most part, this deck doesn't really care what the opponent's doing.
I didn't put them in the sideboard of this, but they were on the very, very short list, and I was very, very, very mad that these spiked the week I bought them, because like I was asking all over the Discord if anybody had them, and I finally just broke down. I got like 1 of them off the Discord and broke down and got 3 more off a TCG player, and then like literally 2 days later, somebody bought them out and they spiked up to $100 and some, and somebody asked me if I bought them out.
Well, they're not actually.
Yeah, I know they've come, but they haven't come all the way back down though. They've come back down to like $40, which is ridiculous. It's a card in Chronicles, you know. But I was really. I mean, I know that the person. I think the person was joking when they said it, but it was actually a little hurtful to me that someone would even think that.
Yeah, that's not cool.
That I would do that, and
I mean, there are ways to say that that are funny, like, hey, could you believe it? Like, you got to steal their pal. You know what I mean? Like, without being like accusatory or weird. I don't know.
But I went with a different.
I love the card.
I went with a different white creature in my sideboard that is also good against a deck like yours, and I want you to guess what it might be.
A white creature that's good against a deck like mine.
We might have a little glitch.
Trying to think now. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the price on Repentant Blacksmith before I play a guessing game. This is ridiculous. For my confession, I burned me with fire and found loss for endurance rain. No, they're like $30.
Oh, okay. They've come down. They've come down even in the last couple of days. Then I was just really. It makes buyouts make me extremely unhappy. People should wring all the joy that can be wrunged from things like this instead of collecting.
Well, no, you're right. So the lowest on TCG player is actually $39. It's close to $40. That's stupid.
It's just so disappointing, and it's people who they're never gonna.
People need to get away. Okay, so what card is good? Again? Oh, the Javelin Nurse.
Yeah.
My was that the answer?
Yes, it's my favorite white 1-drop. It might not be the absolute best one in old school, but it is my favorite.
Very good. I just happen to have it on Switch. Well, these Javelineers. I got these foil time shifted ones. I want to bring these to movies tonight and just troll somebody. Like they'll be like, "Hey, you can't play with that foil," and I'll be like, I mean, whatever. We're having fun. Um,
So
that's my vision.
part of it was me wanting to
Because I
play.
love the personal art.
Part of
Oh
me
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
wanting
yeah.
to get to play
Um,
the javelins
Nick Batista
on
makes
camera.
that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Nick Batista makes that stuff. He does a great job. Actually,
Yeah,
yeah, he has one.
I've actually got
I have
all
it. One of the
kinds
fellow
of.
runners. He made us this nice New England old school like dog tag thingy.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Jared here has the javelins. Yeah, Nick does great work.
Yeah. So this
I
was
love I love about the old school community. Like, oh yeah, yep,
this is my favorite. This is my favorite. One of my favorite things. This was I I won most creative deck for the
yep,
black green Thallid thing. You know, the
yeah,
one in
yeah,
gold
yeah. It's
sleeves with
awesome. Yep.
they you said it was okay for me to play gold bordered icy manipulators.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
100%.
this was my most creative deck trophy for my very first old school event,
That's
and
fantastic. Yeah, Nick does great work. It's awesome that he can, yeah, supply that kind of stuff to Jimmy for those events. And what I love about the old school community, like, is that the longer you hang out, the more you accumulate just awesome things that people have made, like as just like fan art and fan projects. And like I've got the stuff from Nick that I just showed you. I've got these Triskelion arms that Slan
oh,
Fan
those are
made.
great. Those are great.
I've got yeah, they're really cool. I've got obviously patches and pins and stickers and stuff. I've got the hero. Have you seen this? The old school's hero deck. Yeah, from these were from NoobCon
Oh, cool.
2018, I want to say, from NoobCon 10. David Montag in Sweden made these, and they're like Hero Quest kind of trading cards of players, like
Oh, that's
mostly in the
amazing.
European scene. Like
Yeah.
there's Olorada, obviously, Lorenzo from Italy, Jason Savage from the UK, Mossman from
I have to
Chicago,
say, I
Stephen
really
Indian. You know what I
like.
mean? Like,
I I have to say, I really like that Ole Rod is still playing because he was one of the few
yeah,
clean, actual old school like pros, I guess. He's like
yeah,
one guy.
yeah.
He's one of the guys that I go back and I watch his matches on camera, and I'm like, yeah, that man played good, honest, clean Magic and was just a great player. Um, I was telling
He did, and
someone,
he's been just fantastic.
yeah, and I was telling someone the other night, like it is amazing when you go back and things that people just didn't catch. And I don't want to open up a whole can of worms. I'm not shying away from difficult
Oh, sure, sure.
conversations, but there
Yeah,
has been a little bit of a kerfuffle a few times in the old school community about cheating. But I mean, it was
for sure.
really sort of, I don't want to say it was expected, but you really had to be a lot more careful playing back then. And I know you weren't playing in game stores. I didn't really play in game stores until 1999. I mean, not
Hmm.
I mean, other than like that happened to be where one of my friends wanted to hang out. And he's actually passed away now,
Sure, sure.
um, but he was really the only one that we went to a store called Legends together. But I was watching a match, and I think it was extended, or I maybe 1997, or and the the guy had Tithe in his deck, and when he and they had a close up on his hand when he was tithing, and you could see that all of his dual lands were flipped around backwards, and his entire deck,
Oh,
the
jeez.
lands were dual lands. So he knew, so he was playing a card that let him search his library at instant speed, and he basically had the ability to know when he was going to draw a land, and
Jesus Christ.
his opponent was Finkel, who beat him. You know, like the guy was cheating and
Yeah,
he still lost to the greatest
sure.
Magic
Well,
player,
yeah,
you know, which that
yeah.
just makes
I
me
mean,
happy.
Finkel's otherworldly. And Finkel's another one that is at least tangentially involved in old school.
Is he really?
A little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
uh,
I mean, I remember when he started playing
Brian
poker.
Manolakis knows him.
I remember when he
Yeah.
started playing poker and he was just kind of lost to the Magic world because, money's better
Mm-hmm.
than whatever the hell we're doing. Do you want to pick
Yeah,
the
for
one on
sure.
top?
132.
Uh, 2 is on top?
Yeah, 132.
Okay. Darn it.
132. Yeah, whatever. Just
Okay, sorry. The
I'll just
very
put it
middle
up.
of the deck is
Yeah.
now on top. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, sure.
Um,
Um, no, I mean I've seen like Finkel came to MobsterCon last year and played Team Unified Old School, and then Will Rada obviously is pretty involved still. Saw him in the finals at NewCon 10. Was really really impressed watching him play, and then I saw him again in London this past fall at the Team Unified event, the World Cup that the Brothers of Fire do every year. Um, it's great to have players of that caliber like kind of around the old school community.
yeah. I'll keep this hand. It's decent at least. Um, I'll let you decide whether
God.
you're keeping your hand, and then I'll ask my next question because I know it's going to be a very involved question for
All
you.
right, I don't think this is great, but I'm gonna keep it. Keeping it.
All right. I won that game, so you're going first unless you didn't win
Yeah, I
too.
want to play. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know if you were gonna ask a question before I started. Okay.
Oh, I'll let you. I'll let you. I was
Right.
yeah. So my question was going to be I've got a few questions about favorites, and one of the favorites questions I like to ask is what's your favorite color in Magic? Which I know is going to be a very difficult question for you because you literally play everything.
I do. I love them. I love them all. I think I love them all except for blue. I don't really love blue.
Okay.
Um,
Well,
I
I mean
love.
that's
I
that
obviously love green. I'm losing you a little bit,
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that better?
unfortunately.
Let me
Sorry.
reload.
Do you want to reload the
Yeah.
yeah,
You're
reload the
still
way
coming
I
through, but
remember.
okay. I think we're back.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Guys. We were discussing colors.
Yeah. Um
Oh man.
I have not drawn yet or anything. I didn't know if you were done with your turn.
Okay, yeah. So I played Plateau, I played these three guys, and nothing else to do. And I'm passing.
Plains, Soul Ring, Felwarstone, pass.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't like blue. I mean I like blue, I don't love blue. But I think I love the other four colors. Right. This is awkward. I'm playing a ball to pass. Go.
So I guess it's maybe an equally interesting question then to ask why do you dislike other colors? Or blue. Why do you dislike blue?
Yeah, I mean, or why do I like blue less than I like the other colors?
Yeah.
Because I still like blue. I think blue has likable qualities. I don't know. I think at heart I am not.
Your turn.
First of all, I everybody likes an underdog, and every color is an underdog except for blue. Blue is the best color,
That's fair.
and therefore worthy of scorn.
Your turn.
And so that's like one thing.
Yeah.
Uh, two, I guess I've learned like I'm not a control player at heart.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have dabbled in control. Like you definitely learn a lot about the game um, by playing control. It's important to understand like the mindset and see the board in a different way, see lines in a different way. Think about crafting the right set of answers to
Yeah.
anticipate threats in the middle. There are like a lot of rewarding aspects of playing control.
Right. Right.
I'm just too impatient, and frankly, my like cognitive space is just not like I don't know. My brain just doesn't work in that way. Like I can't see all these lines. I could never see moves ahead in chess or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I am. So I play Cobalt decks that spit their hand out and try to win on turn 3, so I don't have to think so much. Um,
And sometimes they do.
but
And it's
in
great.
seriousness, like I think there's a lot of nuance to aggro also, and
Oh, I agree. I
um,
agree.
there are a lot of like deceptively tricky decisions that might not seem like things that kind of add up over the course of the game. Um, and I don't know. I just don't. In terms of, and mostly I'm limiting my comments to old school because like I'm familiar with cards from newer sets, obviously having some incidental exposure to to their other formats and whatnot. But yeah, like I don't know, all these colors like white has banding. That's awesome. Green is the underdog of underdogs, and like it just has a lot of. In old school, has so much depth to the creature suite, and that's really intriguing to me. Also, it has banding, which I love. Um, Black just has this. Obviously, has the metal aesthetic. I like discard as a strategy. I enjoy playing rack decks a lot. My best finishes ever in old school tournaments um, have been with him to Torak. I guess I'm kind of a simple person because it's a pretty soft card, I think.
Yeah, and
But
and
I love it. I love
I
the
like the
just the
discard decks
feel
that you
of
play. They're definitely like
yeah.
you had a storm world deck that I thought
Oh, thanks.
was amazing.
Yeah, I love Stormworld. Yep. Um, I just love the feel of black, and then red. Come on, like the most impatient color. Um, the just like I had alpha bolts. I sold them. I've got beta bolts now, and it just that holding a beta lightning bolt just feels awesome. Like you just feel like a wizard, like who is just like efficiently getting shit done and like asking the questions. And that's just kind of where I want to be. I don't want to like I don't know. I don't want to be holding counter up. I don't want to be winning the game because I cast ancestral. Although I did appreciate it in game one. Um, but I feel like in splashing for ancestral, I'm using blue for my
Y-
very red ends,
yes, and
which is fine.
I mean, who's going to
I
be
don't
mad
know.
at you for casting ancestral to cast kobolds? Anyone
Exactly.
anyone who
Exactly.
thinks that they're not friends of mine.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I have no idea where we are in this game.
I
You
have
played a
passed the
second
turn.
land.
I
I
have
missed my
passed the
first
turn.
land.
You have not yet drawn your card.
Okay, so you're on probably 19-ish,
Yes, I'm on 19 now.
having tapped the city brass.
Yes.
Okay, I will draw. Hey, city brass. Okay,
Sweet.
all right. Now I can't attack because these creatures don't have any power. I can cast Time Walk, so I'll do
Okay.
that. Go to 19. Draw. Hey. Okay. Now I can attack for 8.
I will bolt the I'll
Hmm.
bolt the ornithopter
Wow, good question. Sure.
and go to
All
13.
right, take 6. Go ahead.
Look at the top 3. Damn it. I picked the wrong one. cast Sinbad.
Yep.
Pass the turn. That's it. Oh, are we
Sinbad
doing
go?
it again? Yeah, yeah.
I can untap.
Yes, yes.
We're a little choppy.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. All right. I'll draw.
Okay. Audio is still coming through, so I'm gonna.
Okay, good. I'm casting Time Twister.
Okay.
All right. I will set Time Twister aside in a new graveyard pile. Shuffle your hand library. I have not played a land. Let's see what kind of trouble we can get into here.
I think you. Oh no, you didn't play that. Oh, this is awful. It's like maybe the worst 7 I could possibly draw.
The worst 7 you could possibly draw? Seriously?
Maybe.
Is that what you said?
I mean, maybe. Probably
right.
means the top 3
I'm going to
cards
play
in
Plains
line
for
would be
turn.
okay.
I'm going to play Cobalt. Yeah, right, exactly. Cobalt, Plains, go.
Alright. I will look at the top 3. Draw this card. I will Wrath.
Yep. All right. 5.
You have 4 cards left. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, of course, I had army, and of course, I was going to swing for lethal next turn. I guess I'll have to put it back together somehow. I'll cast White Knight.
White Knight? What?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I have to be able to do something with it's supposed to be my 4th order. I couldn't find it, but then I found it, but then the knight was already here, so like whatever. Yeah, I have orders in the anyway, the point is that I do have like enough sources to cast some threats on curve also.
Right, right.
So I have Savannah Lions and knights slash orders.
I see.
Because like if I don't have like draw 7s, I'm like, well, I do have lands, so I should be using the mana efficiently, right? So I want to cast these things on curve also.
Yeah.
Now I'll cast Time Walk.
What?
Again.
Stop that.
Time Twister. What can you do? All right, my turn?
Yeah.
Yep. Draw. All right, Kobold. All right. Well, I mean, I think I'm literally gonna army one guy.
Yeah.
Take 4.
I'm at 9.
And I'm gonna chain lightning you in the face.
6.
You're on 6 on 15. Go ahead.
Angel number 1.
Angel's in.
Go ahead.
Draw. Attack with a white knight.
I'll block.
First strike.
Sure.
Go ahead. Oh yeah, you did say number one. All right.
Go ahead.
Untap. Draw. Plateau. Order. See, this is a case where if this was an order, I'd be in better shape. Go ahead. Although I couldn't have done that. Yeah, whatever.
No.
Are you casting Angel again?
Hang on. Concorn.
Yeah, obviously. Concorn.
Pass.
Pass?
Yeah.
Do you want to attack me or something?
Oh, right. I forgot she was on the table. I expected you to kill her. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. We'll stay. I'm on 11. Like, so let's not even worry about it. All right. Untap. Draw. Yeah. Wait. I'm fine here. I'll attack with these guys.
All right. I will block the white knight.
Yeah. Sure.
I will bolt the order.
Damn. Well, that's a blowout, huh? Bolt. You have lightning bolts in that deck?
Yeah. It's 4 colors.
All right. Okay. Go. Cobalt versus Angel.
Disenchant your soul ring.
That is irrelevant. Okay, cool.
I know. But what else am I going to do with it?
What else are you going to do?
I'll Concorn. I'll put a Concorn back on top of my library.
Yep. God, that Wrath. Oh, come on, man. Who plays Wrath of God?
I know, right?
Who plays Wrath of God in their Sinbad deck? Come on.
Attack with the other angel. Your turn.
Yeah, 7. I think I have no way of winning now. No, I guess I could wheel into 2 bolts, right? That'd be fine. This deck is super awkward. Go ahead. I think I love it though. I'm excited.
All right. I have a second bolt, so I'll attack you for 8.
Oh yeah, I guess I'm just dead. God.
That was I mean, that was really lucky. That Wrath was the second card down from the library.
Oh, and Sylvan comes up big, huh?
Yeah.
Honestly, nobody plays Wrath. I feel like this deck is actually secretly okay, and I don't know.
I mean,
maybe this tape should just go into the vault forever, and like I can like win some Spice Awards with this for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I really, really like that you paired it with Army of Allah.
I have no one thinks Army is a card in this format. I really think it is.
Oh no, I play it. It's in my White Weenie deck.
I know you do, but like no one thinks. You know what I mean? Like,
there were 2 Army of Allah decks in the Paladins last week. There were 2 Army of Allah decks in the Paladins this week.
Like the mother of invention, right? Like you. Oh yeah, I play Army in my White Weenie deck in the Paladins thing also.
Well, I'm not even.
I'm on the
I was playing it there before they even decided to ban the depiction, do the depiction ban. And I don't. I am still on the fence about it. I know that you feel that Crusade is not only not needed, but maybe actively worse than other options in White Weenie. I think that's strong.
Yeah.
Okay.
But go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, I actually think Army of Allah has its own charm, and the fact is, cutting Crusade let me play a couple other interesting cards. So, I'm not disappointed with switching to it, and plus you just don't see it.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I've definitely been on army since before the depiction ban, um, and I think because like my natural like what the decks that I love to play tend to have like 24 to 26 creatures in them, and that makes those anthem effects that much better. Obviously, I think the problem with Crusade is that if you're playing 26 creatures, you don't have any disenchant targets. The second you play Crusade, it gets disenchanted.
Right.
So I like Crusade a lot in the sideboard of decks like that. Like I'll play like maybe one or two Crusade main, like and like one or two side, in a white weenie deck now. But I'll want like two army because it's a better I think it's a better finisher. It comes out of nowhere. People don't respect it. People don't even think about it for whatever reason. And I think it's a truly real card in the format. I just brewed a whole other deck around Army um, for the September, or what do you call it? The August, oh, if you want to cut it, how about 3, 2, 1? Um,
3 on the bottom.
that Army deck was based on occasion. Yeah, sure. Um, that army deck was based on Acacian Town and Tetravite tokens.
Oh,
So the idea was
I
you're
remember
ramping
this
to
deck.
6 with
Yeah, I remember you showing me this deck.
yeah.
This was a good one.
I went 4-2 with that deck, like in a real like in the Neos monthly,
Yeah.
and just had a blast like armying people for I don't know 18 damage, 24 damage. I mean, I had one. Obviously, the game was well in hand, but like I swung for 31. Like it's so. I mean, it was amazing. It was amazing. The card that really impressed me in that deck was Acacian Town. I think it's very good,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, and
Obviously in the right shell.
and
Um,
and I've shown you my my deck that has Occasion Town in it. The one that's themed around Feral
yeah, yeah,
and that was on my really short list of things
yeah.
to play tonight, but I wanted to put together something a little different. The other deck
Sure.
that I've
I mean,
played, Army
you
of
create
Allah.
these spaces like budget options and stuff. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, the other deck that I played Army of Allah in that I really liked it was I played Soldier Weenie for the first whoops.
Hmm.
For the first Sarpedia Cup, which is Dice City's fall tournament. That is,
Yep.
we get all sorts of prizes for Fallen Empires themed stuff, and I picked soldiers as my tribe, which was not terribly common, but I played every soldier I could. I played every soldier I thought I could cast, which did not include the eight the 8-drop Legionnaire, unfortunately. But
Uh-huh.
um,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I will. I'll try this.
I got a keeper here. I don't know. I think you have like a I learn a lot from you every time we play. And I think you have a real appreciation for some of these corner cards that are actually sneaky good because like you are such a dedicated budget player and like necessity is really the mother of invention. Um, I think playing, you know, imposing restrictions on yourself, whether it's budget reasons or not wanting to play power, not wanting to play blue, whatever. Like I don't know, it forces you to really dig deeper and actually like acquaint yourself with the cards and what they do. And in doing that, I found cards like Army that you would see some in like random white weenie lists, but no one. I don't know. There's just so many more things that you can do with a card like that because
Yeah.
it's such a unique effect in the format. There's no other, instant speed effect that gives your team +2. Like it's a really, I mean, you have like, I don't know, other cards in that space are like what, like morale, which is +1, like Thorax Gate, which is horrible.
Yeah.
Um,
Unfortunately,
it's just such a unique
I want
and
it
good
to be good
effect.
so bad.
Um,
I
Really,
hate that
really
they.
testable.
I hate that you can't just use it with Breeding Pit. Like, couldn't they have just done that?
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, it's too bad. It's too bad. I don't know why, like what they were afraid of. They were afraid of making it too good or something, but it's just like I don't know.
Yeah. It was your choice whether
It's a
to
shame. All right, I've got a hand here.
yeah.
Oh, all right, I'm just gonna keep playing into balance and wrath, and if I get there, I get there. And if I don't, I don't. Like that's kind of where we're at, huh? Play this kobold, play a tundra. I'll play a ruby. I'll play a taskmaster. I'll pass.
All right. Let's play a factory. Your turn.
Sure. Draw. I will attack for
Two.
2.
18.
Play a lion and pass.
Um. Hang on. You didn't play land?
No, I did not.
All right. I'm gonna disenchant your mocks and pass the turn.
I'll bolt you.
Okay. 15.
Draw. I will attack for 4.
11.
Go.
Strip mine. Go ahead.
Draw. Oh. Yeah. I'll play a kobold and pass.
City. Your turn.
Draw. Stripping me out in a 1-strip format.
Sorry.
Fine, go ahead.
All right. Draw. Take one wrath.
I thought we were friends, John.
I know. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Draw. Kobold, go.
Hey, I took 10 by turn something.
Yep.
Attack for 2.
18.
I'll go to 9 and play Sinbad.
9 it is. Draw. Kobold, go.
Attack for 3.
15.
I'm gonna play this just to get a card out of my hand. Go ahead.
Sure. Draw. Go.
Jeez. Attack for 3.
12.
I guess 8 is the same as 9, so another Sinbad. Go ahead.
Draw. Planes.
Woo.
Does not help. Go. I guess it helps a little bit.
Spell water?
Yeah.
Activate, swing for 4.
4. I got an 8.
Go ahead.
Draw. Tundra. Order of Lietberg. Go.
Another factory.
Sure.
Activate and swing for 4.
I'll take.
All right. Go ahead.
Kobold.
Okay.
Order, go.
Activate this factory, attack for 3.
Attack for 3. I will. How many cards do you have?
I have 6.
I'll block the factory.
Okay. You're going to 3?
And Yeah, I gotta decide if I'm going to 3. Sure, whatever.
Really?
Got a bolt?
I,
Yeah, you
I,
got a bolt?
of course I do.
Yeah, all right, sure. I mean, I kind of just wanted to get out of the game.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. I'm sorry.
no, it's fine.
Okay. I want to ask.
It's a function of construction. I want one more bite at this apple before we close.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to
All
ask
right.
at least one more question before we
All right, good. Yeah.
before we
All right,
close
let's do
down
one
here.
more. These
So,
are generally fast games. Either I get there or I don't,
right,
basically.
right. So, um, actually, I have two more questions, but one of them's kind of a fluff question.
All right,
So,
sure.
you maybe have already hinted at this, but you didn't play any tournament Magic whatsoever for most of your
That's right.
life.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
you've organized an awful lot of tournaments. So, do you have a
Yep.
preference for kitchen table versus tournaments?
Yeah, I mean, so what do I have a preference for? I have a preference for player-driven Magic, rather than I don't know, for-profit Magic, like corporate-driven Magic. I don't know. Like I think part of that is a function of where I am in my life, and my expectations that I have for my free, like how I spend my free time, basically. Part of that is how, like, around expectations for how I engage with my, like, a with my friends and like-minded people, like people who share a passion for this hobby, but also how I engage with like my community, like in terms of giving back and like supporting like charities and stuff like that. I think you can, like, just all of the things that I want out of the game, out of the hobby, out of my social life, out of my civic life, I can achieve through old school Magic,
Mm-hmm.
in player driven events, like player organized events, community run tournaments, more than I can get out of like going to a GP or a game store. And with respect to small business owners, like there are some amazing game stores that support the old school community, and I don't want to throw shade or anything like that. But I think, like, fundamentally, old school is a kitchen table movement. Um, it started with two guys literally on a kitchen table, probably in Sweden in like 2007, um, and caught fire over here in like 2014 or so thereabouts, and it just has been steadily, like the boulder has been rolling down, or the snowball, I guess, has been rolling down the hill. Built, getting bigger and bigger and bigger ever since, and that energy has all been coming from just people like us, guys playing at their kitchen tables and volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
Like I very much see what I do as just being a volunteer organizer. Like I'm just giving my time to create structures, create opportunities for engagement, like create experiences, that we can all share and enjoy. But it is very much just kind of like a, yeah, like a grassroots kind of thing. So that, I don't know. I guess that answers the question.
Yeah, it does.
kind of directly, like
Yeah.
yeah.
One was on the bottom, three was originally on top.
Oh, stack it exactly the way it was.
Okay.
So rad, we won't even cut. I'm gonna cut.
All right. 5, 6, 7. Oh man, it's like I've been practicing my Gristlebrand draws. Woo! I finally got it. I'll keep it.
Damn. Well, I don't know what you
Well,
got going on over there, but I'm keeping this.
I mean, there's so many different cards in here. There's like cards I haven't even played.
City Brasco.
Ruins, go.
Draw. Tundra. Ornithopter, go. 19.
All right. Land tax. City of Brass. Go ahead.
Sure, draw. Attack for 2.
No blocks.
No pumps.
Okay. Well,
I will.
I'm gonna bolt the order. So I'll get a 19 instead of 18.
Very well. It's bolted. I will play a Taskmaster and pass.
Okay. During my upkeep, I will sack this for 2 white. I will disenchant your Ornithopter.
Wow. Sure. Tax away.
Love Ruins of Trocaire so much. We've got other Fallen Lampers lands in here too. That we just haven't drawn. You know what's amazing is how Disenchant isn't even dead against, like, a deck like that. It is my favorite card.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely need the Moxes. Ornithopter I'm not sold on, to be honest.
Yeah. I got a good story about Ornithopter when you finish.
No, I love Ornithopter. Ornithopter, Ornithopter is the first single I ever bought. I was 12 years old. I went into the game store, Flights of Fantasy in Albany, New York, which at that time was on Ontario Street before it closed that location, moved out to the burbs. And I bought a revised Ornithopter from the case for like, I don't know, 50 cents. And I thought I was getting like the best card ever.
Costs nothing. It's free. I'm done. Yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'll tell you my Ornithopter story. I had gone back to school for computer science starting in 2017. Yeah. And one of my classmates, his brother had played in 1995. Like, his brother was quite a bit older than him and had a whole bunch of old cards. So he actually was able to make an old school deck. No blocks.
Yeah. Oh, idiot. Sorry. We were like chatting and I'm like, I forgot to play this thing pre-combat.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. 17.
All right. 17, 18, yeah. All right. Sorry. Continue with your excellent story.
And he, so the first thing he does when he sits down to play old school with me is he slams Ornithopter and puts a fire breathing on it. And I'm like, yeah, you actually get it.
Unstoppable.
He was making Dragon Stompy in old school.
Unholy strength for, come on. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was good. Let's crack this. Yeah. Here we go. Okay. Go ahead.
Draw. I'll attack for 4.
Right. I will Psyblast one of them. Get a 15 and then 14. Yeah, I hadn't drawn the Psyblast either. It's just like there's so many different cards in here.
14. Okay, that's fine. All right, one is dead. Play this one. You play a third land. I'll play Tundra and say go.
Sorry.
You're wrathing me?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I'll bolt you.
11.
I'm on 16. I'll untap. Draw. Play Kobold. Go to 15. Cast wheel.
Okay. You get an angel, 2 lands, and a concorn.
Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ready. All right, Kobold, Chandra, Ruby, Ancestral myself. Draw, Kobold. Go.
Right. Factory.
Yeah.
Angel.
Sure.
Go to 10, play Sinbad. Your turn.
Sure. Right, I need a fireball in this deck. That's one change in the deck. So I can't tell if I have like too much land or too little land.
You have blue, you can play Psyblast.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a blue card, right?
Yeah.
5 lands. Okay. Just making sure you can
play.
track.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I don't need to play that at all. Sinbad. Okay.
Sinbad. He's not that bad. He's actually.
Oh, technically.
All right, I'll block both. I'll block 2 of them. Take 2. Sure. Go to 8.
Lose your Sinbad.
That dies. I'm gonna bolt the angel.
Go.
Oh, no.
No, I wish. Go ahead.
Okay. Draw. Attack for 4.
Yeah, 11.
Go.
Draw. Guy. Go ahead.
Animate. Attack for 6.
Yeah, I got a 5.
Okay. I will play an island and pass.
Yeah, draw. Well, my hand literally contains Plateau, Tundra, City of Wrath, City of Wrath.
Holy shit.
I had another army. I guess on that one turn, I could have played the 6th land and double armied to kill the angel.
Yeah.
That was the correct thing to do. But
yeah, and I would have gone to 6. I would have gone to 6, so I would have been dead to 2 bolts off the top too.
Yeah, right. And your angel would have been gone, which would have been nice.
Yeah.
So that was correct. I guess I'm a little tired and flooding. Man, I'm excited about this deck though, and how many freaking Wrath gods are you playing?
I'm playing 2 Wraths and a Balance. So
2 Wraths and the Balance, obviously. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I Wrath. Honestly, Wrath is underplayed. Just full stop.
Yeah.
In 93, 94. I think I don't like, especially like in a Wrath is just underplayed. Wrath is just underplayed.
So I'm just gonna lay out the different cards and people can try to figure out the numbers.
That's amazing.
This engine is fun. The Felwar Stone. I didn't get to play it. I didn't draw one, but there's Rainbow Veils in here too. Like I never got to play one.
Yeah, did I? After that first game, I didn't take a single game off you, right? You just won like 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Man.
That wheel the first game was like super devastating to me because it got rid of like 2 pieces of removal from my hand and all my early plays. That was a good wheel.
Yeah.
which is one of the things that you play wheel for, right? Is like every once in a while you get to just do it.
Absolutely.
So
All right.
there
I
people can
think.
try to figure out the numbers of all these different cards. Oh, I put out two of the Concorns. And we can
Wow.
put out a prettier Sinbad than that. I need to get more of this guy. Like, there's copies in the cube, there's copies in the blue deck. They're all over the place. But yeah,
Uh, glorious pile.
I love this engine right here. Like, and it's really hard. And
Yeah.
I've done 3 or 4 different decks with it. Like I've done kind of pink weenie type things with it, where you just kind of use it as a value engine. I've done a deck where you plan on land taxing like once, and just to get 3 extra lands so that you can play like an angel or a serendipifreed or something. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but yeah, like it's just neat to try and do a 4-color deck with no dual lands at all.
You clearly have sunk time into the technology. God, yeah. Ruins of Terror. Yeah, I mean, only you, John, can make Ruins of Trocare look really, really amazing. Actually,
I'm gonna switch cameras so that
what a pleasure.
we can be face to face for the last. So my last question is: you're showing it. What do you prefer to drink when you're playing?
So, um, I late nights I'll drink a lot of brown liquor. Um, I'm a rye guy. This is Rittenhouse. But yeah, if I'm playing old school, like after 10 p.m. on a weekday night when I shouldn't be, it's usually, um, yeah, it's usually like some kind of whiskey. Um, Otherwise, I'm not picky. Like I drink a lot of beer also. One, since I started old school, I think I've put on, I don't know, a good, 15, 20 beer pounds easily. But I think that might also be because it coincided with like fatherhood. Like I've been playing old school for 5 years or so. My daughter's been around for 5 years. So, yeah, do the math, I guess. But I'm pretty equal opportunity when it comes to beer, especially at events.
Mm-hmm. Well,
You drink.
I
You
guess
drink tea.
I guess I can still toast you even if it's tea.
So,
So I want to thank you so much for participating, Dave. This
my
was
pleasure, John. Always, I love playing with you. I love frequently losing to you and frequently losing to some kind of Fallen Empires, deep technology.
the feeling is
I don't
definitely
know.
mutual.
I
I want
like.
everyone to
I
know
don't
that.
know.
I
I,
have lost to you plenty, so
there are. I don't know. I think you do it right, and I love like sharing experimental stuff and talking about cards and brews with a similar fellow traveler along the road who shares some of the same values when it comes to this stuff. There's a lot of space in the world dedicated to spiking, and I create tournaments that really foster that mentality. um, uh, quite quite enough it seems,
and then you
but I
play Ication
appreciate.
Town and Army of Allah. And
Yeah, exactly. But I'm going to keep on playing this weird stuff and seeing if I can make it work. If I can steal. I mean, honestly, like after game one in our series tonight, like I was fine. I'm like, whatever happens, like that just happened.
yeah.
So like
Yeah,
I did
and
what I came here to do.
that made me super happy, and there was definitely another game where if I didn't have a Sylvan Library and a Wrath of
Yeah, the
God
wrap a
2
couple
cards
of cards
down, I
down.
was dead.
But I can get off of this call and I can tell my friend Steve Hartford, who is like our local like Kobold wanting to make Kobold's work guy, and he's been on like the Gauntlet of Might train, and he's seen like Hunter Prendergast's creativity prize winning deck from Eternal Week in 2017. Like there's been work done in the Cobalt space, but I don't know. I think Army is a ticket here, and I'm going to ride this for a while.
The
But I'm really excited to share the video when this drops with Steve, so he can see that I did get you with Kobolds on like whatever turn 3 or 4 or whatever that was.
yeah, the other kobolds deck I've been smashed by in the past used it just made them big. It played but not with like Gauntlet of Might. It did it with things like Unstable Mutation and cards like that. And
Sure, yeah.
so I always enjoy seeing kobolds, that's for sure. Just somebody trying to make them work.
I don't know. The draw is undeniable. I didn't even own any until I had this like, lightning bolt, a couple weeks ago, and I got out of bed and put $20 worth of kobolds into my TCG cart, and at 2 a.m. So I'm happy to be a card carrying member of the trying to make kobolds work club now.
So
it was about time.
Yeah. So thanks again. I'm gonna hit stop on the recording now. And we've gone close to 2 hours.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.